The summer of 1928 brought more than jazz and gin to Harlem's Cotton Moon Club. On this particular night, as thunder rolled across the city like distant drums, the electricity flickered once, twice, then died completely. Candles emerged from behind the mahogany bar, casting dancing shadows across the faces of those trapped inside by the flooding rain. The music had stopped, but the night's real performance was just beginning. In the flickering candlelight, 5 souls waited out the storm, each carrying secrets heavier than the humid air. Solomon Hayes adjusted his spectacles nervously, calculating losses. Ezra Thornton clutched his manuscript, revolutionary words that could cost him everything. Mickey Torrino sweated through his expensive suit, far from his downtown territory. Jerome Williams counted bills with practiced fingers, his empire under threat. And Ruby Jones, the club's rising star, practiced scales in whispered tones, her voice trembling with more than stage fright. It was Ruby who found her. A scream pierced the night louder than any thunder, drawing them all to Queenie's office like moths to flame. There she lay, the queen of Harlem's underground, her pearls catching the candlelight one final time. Upon her chest, placed with deliberate care, lay a single playing card, the Queen of Spades. Death had claimed its royal prize, and in the storm's fury, there would be no escape for the killer among them. The back door stood 3 feet under water, the flooding having turned the alley into a temporary river. The front entrance was their only exit, but Solomon, ever the cautious businessman, had already turned the heavy locks. "Nobody leaves until we understand what happened here," he declared, his voice steady despite his trembling hands. The storm had made them prisoners, and one among them was already a killer. The candles flickered as if in agreement with the gravity of their situation. Each suspect carried motives as dark as the storm outside. Solomon spoke first, his words measured. She was taking too many risks. The feds were closing in. Ezra's poet's hands shook as he confessed, "She knew about my writings, my meetings with the communists. One word from her." Mickey's gold tooth glinted as he snarled, "Your queen was muscling in on downtown territory." Jerome counted his money like prayer beads. "She was expanding into my numbers game." But Ruby remained silent, her young face a mask in the candlelight. Solomon's keen eye noticed it first. A small vial beneath Queenie's desk, barely visible in the candlelight. "Poison," he whispered, holding the empty glass vessel to the flame. But it was Ruby who recognized the distinctive green color staining the bottom. "That's absinthe," she said quietly, but Queenie never touched the stuff, said it reminded her too much of New Orleans. The admission hung in the air like smoke, and suddenly all eyes turned to Mickey, the only one who'd been drinking the forbidden liqueur that night. Mickey's face went pale as winter snow. "You're all trying to frame me because I'm not one of you," he protested, his downtown accent thick with fear. But the evidence seemed damning. His glass still held traces of absinthe, and he'd been the last to see Queenie alive in her office. Jerome stepped forward, his numbers runner instincts sharp. "White boy comes uptown with poison, kills our queen, and thinks he can walk away." The mood turned dangerous, but Ruby's voice cut through the tension. "Wait, something's not right here." The accusations flew like lightning outside. Solomon pointed at Ezra. "Your communist friends needed Queenie silenced." Ezra shot back. "You wanted her dead so you could go legitimate." Jerome laughed bitterly. "Both of you had more to gain than lose." Mickey pleaded his innocence while Ruby watched them tear each other apart. The candles guttered lower and the storm showed no signs of stopping. In this powder keg of suspicion and fear, the truth waited to explode like thunder. Ruby's voice cut through the chaos like a blade through silk. "The Queen of Spades isn't just a death card. It's the card of transformation, of endings that become beginnings." Her young face looked ancient in the candlelight. "Queenie was going to fire me tomorrow. Said I wasn't ready for the big stage, but I've been ready my whole life." She held up her own glass, still half full of absinthe. "I didn't poison her drink. I poisoned her lipstick." Every time she pressed those ruby lips together, she sealed her own fate. "The vial under the desk? I planted it there, knowing you'd blame Mickey." The confession fell like rain, inevitable and cold. By morning, the storm had passed and the waters receded. Ruby sat in silence, her dreams of stardom traded for iron bars. The Cotton Moon Club would never sound the same without Queenie's laughter echoing from the back office. Solomon unlocked the doors as the first police arrived, their badges glinting in the dawn light. The Queen of Spades remained on the desk, a reminder that in the game of life and death, even queens can fall. But in Harlem, the music always plays on, and new stories are born with every sunrise.